to Creature Features Podcast. Coming soon to Miami Fox Streaming.
From the creators of Aliens comes an all-new hermaphroditic creature feature.
You know what I'm craving, don't you?
Do you think that what John has is hereditary?
Starring Rutger Hauer of Blade Runner fame.
What do you know of the Van Damme family?
Nothing, why?
With SFX from the team behind Final Destination, The Chronicles of Riddick and Andromeda.
He found some evidence of inbreeding.
Hemoglobin, a H.P. Lovecraft horror film.
Behind these walls lurks a terrible secret.
I think this castle does have a past, and it's a past that's been deliberately covered up.
A secret that has been silenced for centuries.
So you're convinced its lack of history is deliberate?
To even speak of it was punishable by death.
A secret that has claimed the lives of generations.
Some said suicide, some said murder.
Now, 500 years later, these doors will open once more.
You will be the first people to step inside the castle for 5 centuries.
And before this night is over,
You were not invited to this castle by chance.
someone will be intrigued.
About 1,000 years ago in Hungary, packs of savage wolves actually terrorized this area.
Someone will be deceived.
What if she finds out?
She won't.
Someone will be tantalized. And all will be terrorized.
Whatever it is, it has human intelligence.
If it lives, you will be damned forever.
The Howling returns with all its shocking powers. Howling 5, The Rebirth.
Now for the feature presentation.
Greetings, fellow insomniacs, and welcome back to another episode of the Creature Features Podcast from Miami Fox Streaming, wherever you listen to podcasts, on YouTube and on Miami Fox Streaming. That is a streaming platform where we are now going to be carrying the show, and this is like a new venture for the podcast, and I'm really excited to be working with them. We're doing a lot of really cool things over there, but I could not think of a better person to start off this new venture, this new experience, this new journey than somebody that I talk to more than I talk to probably fucking anybody. Like legitimately. This is a person that has been there since I decided to return to podcasting and has been a constant place of support and care and just plain old fuckery. And the thing that we do on the show is the people get to pick the movies that we're going to be talking about. And I think that the movie that this person picked is absolutely the perfect kind of movie to have them discuss, because it is wild and it's crazy and it's hilarious and it's all over the fucking place. And that's what you're about to get, you guys. You are in for an absolute treat. I am so pleased to welcome my friend and ghoul kid, Miss Tragic Rawr. How you doing, buddy?
Hi, friend.
Hi.
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 I'm so freaking excited. I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah, it's weird because it feels like a ghoul kid's table just because it's like you're here and you've got your setup exactly the same way that you did when we were doing the ghoul kids table, and I'm in this fucking garage.
It's exactly the same, but as you and I were talking before we hit record, I moved houses at some point in time, but I have this exact same setup.
It's almost like it's a set, you guys. I don't know if she's really like moved anywhere, or if this is all just some like deep dark web like trick on me.
It's definitely witchcraft, possibly hashtag maybe a witch. I'm not sure yet. I can't commit to religions.
So
gives you the warm and fuzzies, doesn't it? It's good for our soul at this point.
It's like riding a bike or something.
Yeah.
Like a really weird, like a unicycle, maybe.
Yeah, with a unicycle without a seat cover.
Yes. We are going to be talking, we're going to be doing something that we're not going to probably normally do on the show. We're going to be talking about something that is currently in theaters, which is wild and crazy. But I figured, why not get wild and crazy and talk about the 2025 film, The Monkey.
For the longest time, there was nothing. But then it appeared. A beast not from this earth, smiting the ones who deserved it, the ones who didn't. And everyone in between. Whoever controls it controls life and death. And those deaths are really fucked up.
Holy sh!
Everybody dies. And that's life.
It's a goddamn mess in there. Have you been up there? It's like that restaurant. Spaghetti City.
Everything okay up there?
Yeah, everything's fine.
Rawr, why'd you pick this movie?
So I actually, being a part of Horror Talk, I'm one of the creators that actually doesn't get to see a movie right when it opens. And one of the reasons why I picked this movie is it's got a beautiful blend of horror comedy. And I feel like horror comedy is kind of we're losing that.
It's a hard thing to do, though.
It is a hard thing to do. So when you do find one, you latch onto it a little bit. This was a hell of a ride of a movie, and I cannot wait to discuss this with you.
Before we get into all of that, I want to talk to you a little bit about Tragic Rawr. And this is a couple of different things. This is a horror comedy. This is a current movie that you actually got to see in the theater, but this is also a Stephen King adaptation.
Correct.
And I know that is a sweet spot for you. So please tell people about your love of the adaptation work of Stephen King, and the floor is yours for as long as you want it.
Floor is mine. Are you sure about that?
Absolutely.
Well, buddy, as well as anybody who had followed the Ghoul Kids table, we had actually done an episode on our favorite Stephen King adaptations. You know that those are my comfort movies. I go to them for comfort. When you have a snowy day, what are you going to watch? Storm of the Century. Not feeling so good, or it's kind of rainy and icky outside? Stephen King's miniseries, It. 1990 It. We all know 2017 is trash. That's right. But there's so many great adaptations, even though some of them were made for TV. I feel like that Stephen King, particularly the miniseries, are actually perfect starters for young horror fans, because it's already edited for TV, and it gives you just enough horror, which I think is still fascinating to this day, that so many people were completely scarred by Pennywise in 1990, and to think that was made for TV. So Stephen King holds a special place in my heart. I love the books. I absolutely love most of the adaptations. Again, 2017, it is trash.
I'm gonna put you on the spot real quick.
Okay.
What is your favorite adaptation of a Stephen King novel?
My favorite adaptation of a Stephen King novel is gonna be Pet Sematary.
Fuck yeah. Okay. Explain.
It's traumatizing. I mean, and that's how we like our entertainment coming from the 80s. You know?
It's also a perfect segue into what we're about to discuss.
I don't believe you fired a warning shot, officer.
Yeah. Before we get into the movie proper, we have to go to the world of IMDb and read a synopsis. So here is the synopsis for 2025's The Monkey. When twin brothers Bill and Hal find their father's old monkey toy in the attic, a series of gruesome deaths start. The siblings decide to throw away the toy and move on with their lives, growing apart over the years. One of the issues that I have often with the synopsises for films is that they give everything away, like the trailers. You had spoken about this with Companion, where it was completely fucking ruined for you because of the trailers giving it everything away. So on the show, we play a game. It's called Synopsis Obscura. And what I'm going to have you do is give a synopsis for 2025's The Monkey without giving anything away. Difficulty 99.
Giving nothing away.
Nothing.
And it's a movie.
I've been doing this for almost a year. Nobody's fucking thought to do that.
Are you serious?
It's a movie.
It's a movie. I love you, dude.
Oh my god.
This is the best idea ever.
Seriously. Oh shit. Coffee.
Coffee.
So The Monkey is directed by
You're just gonna let me get away with that.
Yeah, I'm gonna let it slide. I'm gonna let it
okay.
slide.
Okay.
These are long shots. I gotta let it slide. The Monkey is directed by Osgood Perkins, who set the world on fire last year, and everybody was talking about Osgood Perkins because of his entry to the horror genre, the horror masterpiece that is Longlegs. It's so good. It's so good. It's not at all boring. It's not a trite retread of Silence of the Lambs.
That's what I was gonna say. I feel like it was a Silence of the Lambs remake without with not enough skin suits.
It rubs the lotion on its skin. It does this whenever it's told.
And then you got, the Napoleon Dynamite character that Nicolas Cage is playing. He's just... What did Boy say?
He gave 10% Nicolas Cage.
Hashtag 10% Cage.
Daddy! That gross guy is back again.
So, needless to say, we're fans of Longlegs.
So interestingly enough, I'm going to cut in here just for a second. I hadn't watched Longlegs yet until after I saw The Monkey.
Oh, shit. So you had a totally different experience going into The Monkey than I did.
Yeah, I was completely blank on a lot of things, which is how I prefer to live my life.
Amen.
Amen.
I went into The Monkey a little bit more trepidatious because of Longlegs, and I'm sure after watching Longlegs you can understand why that is. And you had saw it at an early screening with Chuck, who's also been on the show. And you're like, Chunky, don't worry. You're going to enjoy it. Just give it a chance. Don't think about Longlegs. Just give it a chance. It'll be okay.
It'll be okay.
Everything will be fine. There's nothing.
Tremendous movie.
It's probably one of the best movies that I've ever seen. Stephen King raved about it.
So big, huge.
He doesn't rave about many things, you know.
Stephen King and I are friends, personal friends. I've known him for years.
I'm sure you are, Dog. I'm sure you guys are like this.
Okay, we need to get off of this.
So
we can do accordion hands probably for an hour.
So they decided to play with the monkey, even though they knew that they shouldn't play with it.
I told them not to play with it, so I was right the entire time.
I tried to explain to them nothing but bad things happen. It's just
I love my mute button.
Fuck it, I let it rock.
Okay, what were we talking about? The monkey.
I have some problems with this movie.
As do I.
Okay. So
disclaimer to everybody. We don't know what each other thinks about this movie yet.
Yeah.
We gotta
we don't talk about it. It's like Bruno. We don't talk about it until we talk about it.
Right.
And so this is going to be an interesting reaction, I think, in both directions. She the only advice she said is go into it with an open mind, and it's not what you think it is. So I'm going to give you my biggest qualm with the film. And you just, this is a minor quibble, mind you, but it is
my heart and head is open to you, I guess. I don't know.
If you have any edible fantasies you'd like to indulge in, Billy, now's the time.
But it is my quibble, and it is the timeline.
Okay.
So this film, it opens up in 1999, and I don't know if it's just me, but it doesn't look like it's supposed to be 1999.
Okay.
Right? Like,
So I actually noticed that, but I also noticed that they weren't shoving the fact that it was 1999 down our throats, like a lot of movies seem to do with years past.
music stings and what have you.
Well, it everything becomes so super nostalgic,
Mm-hmm.
and like the best example I could give you, Wonder Woman 84.
Mm.
Like one of the worst movies of all time. Allegedly.
Fair.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
allegedly.
Like what? In that first 10 minutes of that movie, they had every 80s stereotype like shoved in the corner of a mall somewhere, and it made me ill.
Yeah.
Like the 80s they're more brown. Right?
Fair.
It wasn't all neon shit.
I feel like it was more neon in the early 90s than it was.
It was. That's what I thought. So to your point about 1999, and I actually discussed this with Chuck after the movie as well. I like the fact that they weren't shoving the year down our throat. Now you could see one of the mean girls. She's dressed up like Britney Spears.
Fair, but
the fashion was there if it was a normal day. They didn't, to me, they didn't overdo it with that because that's not what the movie was about.
I feel like it gives more of a 70s aesthetic, though. And that's just my observation, is that it has, and this is the same thing with Longlegs. They both have this really kind of polyester aesthetic to them.
It's interesting that you point that out because being, a teen during the time, during 1999, the 70s were being thrown around. And, since I was in school, the 70s were being thrown around a lot because a lot of fashion and a lot of trends have 20-year cycles.
Yeah.
So a lot of stuff from the 70s was actually coming back in the 90s. And so that's why you might be able to get 70s and 90s feels out of each other.
But like also like the vehicles, Osgood Perkins' character, the uncle who's a swinger, which
R.I.P. Uncle Chip.
Like that whole character. So this is a movie that lets you know kind of really early on that you shouldn't take it seriously. You know what I mean? Like, so you're not. To me, the thing about horror comedy is it's a balancing act,
right?
In the sense that you want to teeter the line of both horror and comedy, and horror and comedy are both built on rhythm, and so if you're writing a horror beat rhythm, it's not going to be the same as a comedy rhythm, So it's about where is the joke. And so the punchline is also, the gore sequence. And so it's all kind of like the money shot, basically. And so this is full of money shots. And I found myself laughing more than anything else while watching it.
I feel like this movie and how they set up the humor with the deaths, because that's what it was. I think that was tailored to a lot of horror fans with the dark sense of humor, that the ones that, like me and you, this wasn't scary. If anybody says it was scary, they're weird, but that's just us. I laughed hysterically the entire time, almost the entire time. I can't wait to tell you my qualm with the movie, but
please, this is perfect time.
Perfect time?
Perfect time.
My qualm with the movie is that it goes hard and fast for about
an hour.
And then they couldn't keep that pacing going. And then it felt very disjointed once the brothers grew up. Now, I do appreciate the fact of how much time they spent on the brothers in their youth and build it, instead of it being more like flashbacky. I appreciated how much time and energy that they spent on building up those boys when they were younger, so that we could understand a little bit better when they were adults why they were scared of this.
Now, can I just point an argument out?
Sure.
That is kind of a common complaint with Stephen King adaptations. Specifically, both of our favorites is It. And the stuff with them as children works way better than the stuff with them as adults in both versions too, in the Muschietti version and the fucking Tommy Lee Wallace version.
This movie, the monkey, could have been done all from the kids' side.
Yeah,
and it would have been perfect.
So, have you read the short story?
Not in a long time.
Okay, so for those of you that haven't, it is the character Hal. He has twin boys, and he remembers as a child this monkey and deaths occurring, and then he's an adult. He goes to this house and they fucking find it, and it starts playing the cymbals again. And in the book, it's cymbals crashing cymbals. In the movie, they had to change it to drums because somebody owns the right to the monkey with the crashing cymbals. Did you know that? Yeah.
I have a tattoo on my ankle of a monkey that crashes cymbals. Do I owe somebody money?
I think you do.
Fuck him.
I need money so bad.
Girl, same.
I'm screaming. He's treating me like a whore, like a cheap whore.
Be cheaper.
What we had, it was really, really fun. But I need to get on with the rest of my life. The time of mourning, it's over.
I want you to smell like you were in the back of a taxi cab.
Winston Slims and fucking those little bottles, the little plastic bottles.
With a hint of Boone's Farm.
I think that a lot of the actors that they chose for this lean more to the comedic side. Like their mom is the actress who played She-Hulk.
Right.
And look, it wasn't until she fucking like started gushing blood out of her fucking face for no reason that I was like, oh, that's She-Hulk. I'm in the theater with like maybe 4 people, so I just loudly blurted it out.
Mom was a winner chicken dinner, wasn't she? She was just
like... her little speech.
I sat there and I was like, the fuck?
Like, yeah, both of my kids are probably really traumatized by seeing a girl get decapitated. She's just like, yeah, one day I'm gonna die. And
you're gonna die.
Both of you guys are gonna die. So everybody's gonna fucking die.
I think I actually sat there and said, thanks for the comfort, mother.
You guys want to go dance?
And all of your friends and their parents and all of their pets and everybody. Some of us peacefully in our sleep. And some of us horribly, violently, tied up with clothesline and screaming through duct tape over our mouths and all that jazz. And to hell with it. Oh, come on, let's go dancing.
I think that ultimately what this movie is, kind of talking about is the ever looming presence of death in our lives and it being this thing that is inescapable, but we constantly are like predisposed to fear it and dread it and push it away and push it off. And, no matter where we try to bury it or dump it, it's always going to find its way back to us because everybody dies. And it's also about absentee fathers in a really weird way.
Kind of.
Because, so their father, Petey, who he names his son after, is distant, but he's distant because he's trying to protect them. So that's the same thing that Hal is doing to Petey.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a cycle of this distancing, but it's always done with this.
So Daddy didn't go get a pack of cigarettes. He was just afraid of a monkey.
He was afraid of a toy monkey.
I'm gonna call my therapist.
He cared the whole time.
This is a breakthrough.
Yeah, he was worried about you fucking playing with a monkey.
No. I think the most beautiful to kind of build off of your idea there on absentee fathers. I just want to say all of the adults in this movie, because with Stephen King adaptations and Stephen King stories, you always view the kid side, the adult side, right?
Yeah.
With all the adults, all of them, every single one of them is super fucked up throughout this whole movie. Not one of them is like normal, well-adjusted, however you want to say.
Hashtag what the fuck, Elijah Wood.
Exactly.
What even
By the
was
way,
that?
shocked the hell out of me in the theaters. I was like, he was reading the book and there was a picture of Elijah Wood, and I was like, oh, Elijah Wood. And then he was in the next scene. I was like, the hell?
Because I
Go
to
get
these
the
fucking
ring.
things blind, and I'm just like, what is this shit? Oh, let's arm wrestle for your shud. What?
He was the toxic stepdad. Like that was, but at the same time, I kind of wanted to see more. If there's a prequel to this movie, it's got to be on Elijah Wood's character.
Dude, Corey fucking Cunningham. What the fuck was that character? like they introduced this character. He looks like just like a burnout metalhead, random fucking character. And then they give him this whole story of also having a dad that fucking abandoned him. And he puts on his dad's suit, and like the monkey reminds him of his dad.
That was so weird. All of that was just so weird. And that's part of the out of placement that I was referring to after, like I felt like that whole thing was just unnecessary.
Like, is Osgood Perkins trying to tell us something?
What are you doing, man? I'm just fucking with you. Stop it, man! Stop it!
Is there some unresolved issues with Norman Bates that we don't know about? Like, what the fuck is this shit all about? There's various points in the run of this film where I'm just like, we're really going here. And
there was a couple of times where I was like, especially after that hour mark, because it not to a screeching halt, but it just feels like a completely differently paced movie after that.
But I also feel that, some of it has to do with the fact that, it's built on shock. And if you do that much shock for that long.
It was so much. It was nonstop for all that time.
But you know what I'm saying? Like that the shock value wears off after you've repeated that joke 15, 20 fucking times.
However, I will say that once that joke kind of wore off, I don't know if you did this, but I did. I started noticing things in the background. And I couldn't help but, my eyes started to wander away from the main focal points. And I really, really can't wait to watch this movie again, because there's got to be more background jokes. There's got to be. Like, it brought up the 90s,
Yeah.
it being in 1999. Did you see the hamburger phone, the cheeseburger phone?
I didn't.
I picked up on that right away. I saw it. I was like, that's a fucking cheeseburger phone. So again, there was those little things in there that I was picking up on. My hands down favorite joke of the entire movie was a background joke.
Okay, you gotta let me know what it was.
Okay, do you remember whenever the aunt passed away?
Mhm.
Hal had to go check some things out. The realtor?
Yeah.
The realtor opens the closet and boom, shotgun.
Yeah.
Did you see the sign in the closet?
No, what was the sign?
It said guns don't kill people, people kill people.
Boy, today really shaped up in a hurry, didn't it? You know, did you ever notice how some days can start out so shitty and then and then suddenly something wonderful happens and your whole outlook just suddenly changes.
That was totally uncalled for. Look at me, Ernest. Just look at me. I'm soaking wet.
And there seems to be something wrong with your, blouse.
Oh, I have a hole in my stomach. Oh. I have a hole in my stomach.
I was dead. I was like tears in my eyes, just losing it at that point because
Oh, that's good. That's fucking good.
You're upset that you missed it.
I am.
I can
I'm
see
a little
it
upset.
when
I'm a little upset.
I saw that and I was just like, I can't.
The fucked
I
up
wish we
thing
could
is,
pause this so I can breathe for a second.
I'm gonna go back and watch it, and I'm not gonna be able to not see it. That's brilliant.
See, it's little things like that I appreciated more about, and maybe I'm a psychopath and just started noticing background stuff and trying to pick up on that. But I really want to watch it again just for background things now, because if that was in there, what else was in there that I missed, that I completely missed?
What are your thoughts of the actor playing twins? Because it's the child actor and the adult actor are both playing the two roles.
Mm-hmm.
Do you find that one of the characters is going to be more grounded in reality than the other because they can only really, or because that was kind of the thing that I was looking at, and I recognized it more so with the adult actors than with the kid actors. I felt like the kid actors seemed like two different kids, whereas with the adult actor, it seemed like he was playing, straight lead, and then like doing James Franco.
Crazy, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it felt like James Franco, and I was like, eh.
Yeah, so that was actually that's a great point you bring up there. So the kid did a great job making sure that there were two different entities, two different kids, even though they were supposed to be twins, two totally separate personalities, but it wasn't unauthentic. It wasn't a caricature.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
guess. Because that's how I felt like the adult was. So the evil twin was a good twin, evil twin.
Yeah.
So the evil twin was a joke. It was a joke, and
but
I feel like that could have been so much better.
But here's the thing: is I think that the good twin with the young kid felt almost like a caricature of a nerd. Oh, I got glasses. Oh, I'm really meek, and but he managed to show that anger underneath that that veneer.
Well, since we're talking about it, I think that's a point to bring up too, is that in this movie, we don't get a picture perfect family. We don't get twins that have their own language and, an unbreakable bond and all that jazz. We get twins that hate each other. They don't like each other at all. And I feel like for the kid side of the story, it was perfectly laid out on. We don't need to know why for everything, but you could see.
Yeah.
One twin did not like the other one. And we understand why as the story is going along. But once you get into the adulthoods, to me, it fell flat. It fell very flat.
Okay. So, favorite kill?
Favorite kill?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the shotgun one, though, that was...
that was pretty fucking great.
Pretty fucking great. The airplane crash? Because again, that was one of those jokes that was set up in closer to the middle of the story. Skydiving. They also do weddings. A plane crash. And there's a bride just hanging through a ceiling. They clearly do weddings.
Skydiving gear, yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. No, that was great. I want to say it's the fucking decapitation. I fucking love that scene.
Good.
I
really good.
I loved the way it was paced and it laid out. It paid off in such a fucking great way, and it felt very bubbly until it didn't. And it was like when that fucking happened and that silence, that's when I immediately started laughing loudly. I had to catch myself because again, there's like 4 other people and I'm laughing like a maniac at this teenage girl getting decapitated. But
they knew. They had to have known what they were going into.
You'd hope. But now is the point in the show where we give our Reapers. And these are like ghoulies in the sense that 0 is the lowest and 5 is the highest. Where are you landing with this?
Oh, honey, I'm home. Ready? Wanna be back,
Bikini cut?
I'm gonna give it a 3.5.
That's fair.
I think so. It was a fun watch. It was so much fun, and it was funny. It was humorous. I think part of this is because you have a 50-50 shot anymore going to the theaters and seeing something you like or something you don't like. So when you do see something, no movie is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And 2, when you do actually just get to enjoy yourself, even with its flaws and all that kind of stuff, I enjoyed myself through this movie. Giving it a 3.5, because again, no movie is perfect and there was some issues with pacing and all that kind of stuff, but I'm definitely going to watch it again and I'm going to laugh my ass off again. And I think it's got a lot of rewatchability, and even though it was not Longlegs, because we love it so much.
Yeah, it's so good.
So good.
That would be a 5 out of 5.
Coffee.
Cigarette.
But The Monkey was just a fun ride. And I feel like trying to find a movie that you can enjoy, it doesn't take itself too seriously. It's got an amazing amount of jokes. This is more comedy with... I would say it's the dark humor that reels me in to this one. It's got like the comedy of the Evil Dead series with the Final Destination type kills. I love that they do not explain the monkey at all. I love how it's vague. To go back to your analogy that death is always kind of around the corner or death is coming for all of us, death can also be random and you don't understand it. So I feel like that the point you made fits perfectly into that theme. So yeah, 3.5 out of 5.
I'm going to come in probably about the same place, but I'm gonna go a little lower. I'm gonna go with a 3. I thought that this was a lot of fun, but there were things that bothered me. The performance of Bill, it's the same actor, and but it was so fucking like, with everything else that was going on in the movie, for that character to exist in this world, it was like, we're not taking this serious anymore. You know what I mean? And I felt the same way about the Longlegs character that I felt about Bill, that it was like, this is a weird deviation for the sake of a weird deviation.
Right.
And like, I dug the fact that he was, still wearing his suit from when he was a kid. I thought that was, a weird, crazy deviation, but him as a character just was too far. And, like him putting the fucking flames from his old shirt at the bottom of his suit, it screamed to me that this tickled Osgood Perkins, and he was like, no, it stays. This is fucking hilarious. Look at him. It's like, it's kind of the worst part of the movie. But what about the fucking, they talk about the pale horse and the pale rider all throughout the movie, and then at the end of the movie when they see him, it's like, kind of fucking on the nose, ain't it?
I worry about you, Bevy. I worry a lot.
I could have, again, that was something that I probably could have lived without. If there had been more supernatural elements sprinkled throughout the movie, I think that would have worked, but
I worry that they were going to try to explain it, and I think that it worked better them not explaining it. You get a rudimentary understanding of what it's supposed to be, but ultimately, all you really know is, you turn that key, somebody dies. It's random. But it's got to be in like a proximity kind of thing. So the way to escape it is by getting away from it, but you can't escape it because it follows you. So it's like, if you're marked, you're marked. And it seemed to have marked this family. But ultimately, I thought it was, enjoyable for the most part. The problems were the problems, and I feel like we've discussed those problems. So there's really nothing else to say except for Rawr. Where can they find you in the world of social media?
Oh, I haven't been asked that question in so long. Oh my gosh. Memories. Anyway, you can find me on TikTok under the name Tragic Rawr. Rawr. You gotta go and do that. Wow.
But aside from the TikToks, Rawr has also ventured over to Instagram, you guys. Rawr made her own little Instagram since the last time she was podcasting.
I did, but here's the thing. Like, I go over there, I just post memes and stuff. So it's,
I mean, that's most people on Instagram. Let's be honest.
Right.
It's meme culture, and it's kind of like nothing. You know what we didn't talk about, Rawr, but I feel like, we're wrapping up, but I want to hear your thoughts on the current political climate.
We're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. Did you see his face? He did that on purpose. Do you want me to just crash out for 2 hours about it? What do you want me to say? Help! Someone help! Like, that's all. What else is there?
Link
You did that on purpose.
Link if you need help. But if you guys are here just because of Raw and you have enjoyed the show, you want to find out more, first of all, thank you. And of course, I don't blame you. But the way you would do that is in a couple of different ways. You could start by liking us on Facebook, facebook.com/creaturepod, by following us on Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, Threads, Red Note, Yellow Note, Blue Note, Clapper. Is Clapper still a thing?
I'm sorry. I just got that song stuck in my head. I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky.
Fansley, is it Fansley? Or fandom or fan base? Fan base. That's the one.
That's the one I keep forgetting exists.
Yeah. You know, if things keep going the way they are with the cost of food, you might be able to find me on OnlyFans soon. But of course, also, you can find me on Miami Fox streaming every month, a new episode of Creature Features Curations. You'll be able to hang out with me and Sarah, who plays the character Eris in that show. And have you enjoyed being the devil?
I feel like that's a role of a lifetime, honestly. And I feel like I would be remiss if I didn't thank God.
You can also check out Now That's What I Call Horror, which is a horror docuseries on Miami Fox streaming, looking at the world of 80s horror. And you'll see some familiar faces if you're here because of TikToks that you know and enjoy. And that's a really good fun time. Plus, there's a plethora of classic horror films, 80s, 90s, all kinds of fun stuff. This month, we're getting Howling 4 and 5 on the site. It's lots of stuff for you to enjoy. So definitely go subscribe to Miami Fox streaming. If you use the promo code CreaturePod, you save 15% on that. You can download it to your Roku device, to your smart TVs, to your iPads, or Google devices, whatever kind of poor thing you do. Like you're
download it onto your fucking refrigerator for all we care.
Yeah, just fucking watch the shit, okay? Daddy needs money. Times is tough, okay? The cost of eggs is high, and there's only so much of this podcasting thing that I can do before man tits are gonna have to make their way into the fucking internet. Like I got kids to feed. I got shits I got to do. So
I got taxes.
That's right. God damn it. This is fucking bullshit. We are living in a hostile government takeover.
Open sesame. Pinch me, guys. I'm dreaming. I'll just take one. On what, schmuck?
I don't know if you guys noticed, but this is the last time we did this show. Weird things have happened. So give me your money.
Good God. There's a way to whore yourself out without sounding so desperate, but I like the desperation. It is tasty.
That's at CreaturePod as well. Wherever in the world of social media, you just search CreaturePod. But before we say anything else that's just absolutely fucking ridiculous, we're going to start wrapping this up. So for Osgood Perkins, for Tragic Rawr, and for myself, again, my name is Chunky. This has been another episode of the Creature Features podcast. Wherever you listen to podcasts, YouTube, Miami Fox streaming, and beyond, listen with someone you trust.
Hashtag Longlegs with garbage.